Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, next time I go to Britain, I probably won't have a car this time, so I'm curious, and this might actually be helpful. Let's go. My name's Connor. If you're new, the original link to the video from Walter's World, top of the description. Hope everyone's doing well. Hi guys. Let's go.
Go to Walter's World, and today we're here in Chester, England. And today we're going to talk about are the don'ts of riding the train.
I'm from the USA. If you're new, you could probably tell that, so I didn't have to say that. Never mind.
When you come here in Chester, England. And today we're going to talk about are the don'ts of riding the train when you come to Great Britain. Because there are some rules you should know about, but there's also some little tricks and tips that you should know before you come here, because you don't want to pass up on the train when you're here, because there's so.
Are there snacks on the train that you can buy?
Should know before you.
Oh, I feel like maybe that's not that weird.
Come here, because you don't want to pass up on the train when you're here, because there's so many great options to take trains. You know, like you can take that Harry Potter train, and you can go explore a lot without having to drive on the other side of the road. So that's why trains are really a great alternative when you do come here to the United Kingdom. Okay, but the first.
So last time I went, which is like, guys, I know I've been saying I'll go for like since the beginning I started this channel, and I see a lot of comments that I heart, whatever. It's like, you say you're gonna go, you're not gonna go. Okay, give me time, all right? I swear I will return. I won't say the motherland, because you're not British, you're American. I get it. What was my point? Oh, but my dad drove, and he's pretty good with manual, and he's left-handed, so him sitting on the right side actually wasn't a big deal. But just for my safety, and more importantly, the safety of everyone there, I'm just not gonna drive. It would be bad. So yeah, train, best option.
First thing I want to talk to you about is when you come here, don't expect one company to control all the trains.
I've heard of this.
There's actually a lot of companies that control the trains. So for example, I'm spending 2 weeks here in England, and I've had to sign up for 4 different programs to be able to get my tickets on my phone. Okay, so something you want to kind of think about when you're here is you'll go to like nationalrail.co.uk and look for your train tickets and your times, and you'll pick a ticket, and then they'll say, hey, we're going to send you to this other company's website to buy the ticket. Okay, so don't be surprised that happens. Just know that there are multiple companies that have multiple.
They're going to send you to their competitor? My brain is short-circuiting.
That are multiple differences in level of service and stuff like that that you're going to have, okay? They're all fine, but just know there are a lot of different companies when it comes to the trains here in the UK. And the thing is,
So I wonder if, and I'm assuming because you just said they would send you to the other place that I feel like I already know the answer. I'm going to ask it anyway. I was going to ask, so do you just want to find on your route, say I want to travel from London to Edinburgh or Glasgow. Would it not be likely that I could just go on one train company's train system from there, from those 2 cities? So you would end up having to buy tickets from multiple train companies no matter what? Or can you find train routes that just stick you to one train company?
Matter what train you take, what company you take,
you guys are awesome
pack a lot.
Answering questions.
There's usually not a lot of space to put your luggage when you're on the train here in the UK. You know, above might be a little bit of space for like your purse or a small backpack, but for any big luggage, if you're lucky, there's going to be something like at the end of the carriage, there's going to be a place to put big luggage. Some places you have to put it underneath your seat, sometimes behind your seat, but a lot of times there's just not a lot of space for big luggage. So pack light if you're going to be doing train travel around the UK. And when you're looking at your tickets, a don't I have for you is don't wait to book your tickets. If you know you're going to be going on certain days, book early, because if you book early, you get lower prices for your tickets. And we're talking significant differences if you're buying, you know, a month beforehand or a few weeks beforehand versus buying on that day. So something to kind of think about when you're looking at that. I will tell you, don't try to buy your tickets like 6 months in advance, because the tickets aren't on sale that far in advance, but you get an idea when the trains might go, but you're not going to be able to buy tickets like 6 months, a year in advance. Okay, so if you're planning planning your trip for next year, you're gonna have to wait a little bit until you can buy, okay? And if you're gonna be coming here at Christmas time, I know it's one specific day, but don't expect any trains on Christmas Day. There are no trains that day. So I know a lot of people come during the holiday season. They think, oh, we'll go to someplace else and get there on Christmas Day.
It's good to know.
No, there are no trains on that day. Now, another thing you might want to know, when you're at the rail station, you're looking at the signs, looking for where's my train going to be, and you'll find it, and it'll say platform, and there'll be nothing there. And what I don't for that is don't expect them to put the platform number that your train's going to be on until maybe 10 or 15 minutes before your train actually departs. And if you're in a big city like London, right, and you'll see people just waiting and waiting, and then they announce it, that boom, it's a mad rush there. There are some websites you can go to that'll tell you a little bit sooner so you can get there sooner, but in general you have to wait till they announce it, so that can be a bit troublesome and bothersome, especially if you need more time to.
So I'm not the most like socially talkative person, right? But I feel like if I was in Europe, I feel like I'm more social because I feel like I have an excuse. So I think I would be more, I hope people wouldn't mind, if I just be like, oh, hi, I'm from the USA. Hello, my name's Connor. Do you know what train? Crap, I got to work on this. Train. Do you? Okay. I guess I wouldn't say that. I would think of something.
You know, the train, you know, if you're going with grandma, or you have limited mobility, or you broke your ankle when you've been traveling around. That's why my next don't for you is don't be afraid to ask for assistance at the rail station, because I'll be honest, no matter where you are in the UK, they will give you great assistance. I mean, and it's fantastic. And so if you need extra time, you need some help, ask them and they will definitely help you, okay? But honestly, you're not going to know where your platform is, okay? Now, if you're at smaller stations, smaller cities, they'll let you know beforehand. It's no big deal, but something that really is something to think about if you're going to be leaving from London or taking trains from London for sure.
Okay, so bigger places means there's going to be more trains that go to there. It's going to be more confusing. Okay, makes sense.
When you're getting your tickets and you're going to be buying it from all these different kind of train companies and you get your tickets, one thing I think you need to realize is don't expect to get a paper ticket all the time. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll just send you a PDF, so you have a QR code that you'll scan in, and the conductor will scan it to like say, yes, you were on there. But some of them you will have to get a paper ticket and they'll have you collect it at the station. And my don't for this is don't forget the credit card you bought the ticket with and your like kind of reservation number when you go to pick up your ticket at the kiosk at the station, because you're going to need that to kind of get it to print out for you. Otherwise, you might be out of luck and not have your ticket.
That is actually, I feel like, more important of a point than it might seem, because, like, why wouldn't you have your credit card? It wouldn't be a problem with me, because I'm sure I would pay with the card I always have on me. But some people might buy it in advance and use a different card for that purpose and then not bring it. So I can see that as being a good tip.
Another don't with your ticket is don't put it away. Have it out, because like I said, you might need to scan it if it's QR code, or if you get your ticket like it looks like a little credit card sized piece of paper, you might need to slide it through so it'll open the barriers so you can go to your train. You don't want to put it away, okay? Keep that with you. Don't put it in your luggage or hide it away, because you might need to show it on the train to the conductor. Also, when you get off the train and major stops, you'll need that ticket again to get out, okay? So you have to swipe it to get out. And sometimes it'll spit it back out to you, sometimes it doesn't, but just one of those things to know about, because you don't want to be like, excuse me, sir, ma'am, could you let me out? Like, where's your ticket? I lost it. Really? Likely story, tourist. Another thing I think is important.
Wait a second. Oh, John, what if I really did lose it? Sorry. You're stuck. Sorry.
Don't think every ticket is the same ticket will work at any time of the day, because when you do buy tickets, you'll see that it'll say, oh, for peak periods or off peak, because you'll notice the prices are quite different. And if you try to take a train and you bought the ticket for an off peak train and you try to take a peak train, yeah, that's not going to go over well, okay? So I just want to give you a heads up for that. Now, when you're walking around the rail train and you peak, because you'll notice the prices are quite different. And if you try to take a train and you bought the ticket for an off-peak train and you try to take a peak train, yeah, that's not going to go over well, okay? So I just...
Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, you're gonna want to reserve the train seats for people who paid for the correct
I'll
time.
give you a heads up for that. Now, when you're walking around the rail station, oh, and that's something I should say. Don't call it a train station. It's a rail station here, okay?
A lot of the times, especially with stations like YouTube. Why is my brain like travel YouTube channels? That's what I was looking for. YouTube channel. Where like you're making a lot of lists and you want to fill up the list, and sometimes you just give kind of what I would seem as very obvious, maybe not even needed to be pointed out. But this one so far, I think these have been all really good tips.
Okay, and when you're walking around the rail station, one thing I would say is don't walk on the right. When you're going through the hallways and stuff, you're trying to go between platforms, you walk on the left, whether it's the hallways or the stairwells, and you'll see they mark it pretty well to make sure you're staying on the same side, because you don't want to go against the traffic or the flow of the people, because when it's...
Or people who, this says a lot about people. If you stop in the middle of a traffic area, you're selfish, okay? But when it comes to this, so is that like kind of like what side of the road you drive on? Because I'm always of the view that over here it's like you walk to the right. Unless someone is kind of over there and it's not crowded, whatever, you walk around. But is that the reasoning? Because we have different sides of the road that we drive on, so we walk differently?
rush hour and busy traffic, you could get knocked over, okay? It can be a bit much. Now, while at the rail station, I know a lot of people need their morning coffee or their afternoon coffee or their evening coffee, and I want to tell you, don't worry. There'll be a Costa coffee pretty much at every major station here, so you won't have a problem getting a snack or a coffee before your train goes. And I think that kind of gets me thinking about some of the kind of common courtesy don'ts you have whenever you ride the train, whether it's here in Great Britain or it's, you know, the UK or you're in the US or you're anywhere in the world. One, don't bring any stinky food. Nobody wants that, okay? Don't put your feet on the seats. Nobody likes that. Don't put...
Okay, these are things I spoke too soon. These are things that I don't care where you come from. There's no cultural excuse for this. There's no cultural excuse for really anything because you're going to a different culture, a different country, and so you might not have the same customs. It's stuff like this that it's just, if you do this anywhere, you are not a great person I'd want to be around, I guess.
Your bags on the seat either. I know there's not a lot of space for your bags, but your bags, they didn't pay for a seat, so you want to be careful with that. Don't talk loud on the train because honestly, people on the train here, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty chill, and they like it that way, so there's no loud music. There's no loud talking. Use your inside voice when you talk about how much you loved your time in Chester and Liverpool when you're taking the train back to London for your flight, okay? Lower voices on the train because people really do kind of respect each other on the train, and that's what's kind of a nice thing about taking the trains here. Another thing I think you really should know is don't try to get on the train while people are still trying to get off, which sounds logical, but I know some places around the world people just kind of rush in when other people are trying to rush out. You want to wait and let everybody get out of the train, and people just kind of rush in when other people
Look at the baby.
trying to rush out. You want to wait and let everybody get out of the train, and believe me, there'll be some old grandma or some old grandpa or a lady with a pram trying to get out of the train, and she's going to be a little bit slower. When everybody tries to get on, we all get smashed and have to move around. Just, you know, peek around the window, see is everybody out, and then go in. Don't try to mad rush it on, okay? And when you are on the train, another thing I want to tell you is don't ignore the PA system, because you never know when there might be an announcement that's going to be important to you, like, oh, we're not stopping at this station today. And if you've been thinking,
or this train is running
4 stops till mine, and they announce they're going to skip one, you might go a little too far. Also, if you're going to smaller stations, you know, there's so many...
Guys, is there something in the pigeon DNA that just makes them not care about anything around them, or is it more of a learned behavior? I always wondered that. I assumed it's because, like, well, they're around people all the time. They notice people don't care what they do. But maybe there's just something about pigeons.
At this station,
how did pigeon messaging work? How did they know? This is a different time, a different topic for a different time. I got distracted by the birds. Yes, I did. Okay.
announcement that's going to be important to you, like, oh, we're not stopping at this station today. And if you've been thinking, oh, I've got 4 stops till mine, and they announce they're going to skip one, uh-oh, you might go a little too far. Also, if you're going to smaller stations, there's so many beautiful small towns and villages around the country that sometimes the train stations in those smaller towns are so small, they can't fit all of the train cars on there. So they may make an announcement that, hey, if you're getting off at this stop, please know that only the first 3 carriages are actually going to open the doors. The back 3 aren't, so please move forward. And what's cool is I've found the PA systems on the trains here in the UK to be a lot better than some other countries.
So I'm noticing like 3 categories of a lot of these tips. One is stuff that I think just everyone should know and not be rude and know how to do. The second thing is stuff that if you're used to trains in any country, you might be more familiar with. And then there's the third tier is just things that are you might not know because it has to do with train etiquette in the British, in Britain.
The thing is, I really enjoy taking the train around England. It's very easy to do. But one thing I want to tell you is don't think it's going to be cheap because train tickets here in the UK are expensive. So that's why I always say book early so you can save some money that way. If you're looking at day trips, you can get day return. That can be cheaper than going and spending the night and then coming back the next day. Just some kind of things you can think about to get some deals. Also, don't forget to get a rail card, okay? If you're going to be here for any amount of time, get a rail card because you can save quite a bit of money on each of your tickets. And I know for me, I got one that actually saved me about 1/3 of my price of my train tickets just by having it. So it actually paid for itself by getting that rail card, okay?
I would like to hear how long he was traveling, planning on how many days he was planning on taking the train to see like where's the cutoff where is it like if you're traveling for 2 days, is it still cheaper to just buy individually the tickets? Is it like when it's like 4 days, okay, then cheaper to buy the rail pass?
For those discounts. So if you're going to come here as a study abroad student or you're going to be coming here for a month or 2 weeks or whatever, do look into those rail cards because they can be quite the helper in terms of saving money on your train tickets. The thing is, I do have to say this, as much as I've enjoyed the trains here and the rail stations here in the UK, one I got to tell you is don't expect a lot of spots at the rail station to kind of wait around and be comfortable and get there early kind of stuff to feel like you're ready to go because there's not usually a lot of places to sit and relax at the rail station. So that's one thing I want you to know. Also, if you have accessibility issues, the train stations here are always super accessible. A lot of them will have elevators or lifts you'll see here, but it's not as easy or as convenient. And so you're going to be doing a lot of steps. So if you are going to be taking the trains before you come, don't forget to practice on the stepper because you're going to be going up and down a lot of steps when you're at the rail stations here in the UK. A small safety note when you'll be taking the trains, if you want to get a taxi afterwards or a cab afterwards, don't take random cabs and rides from people that are offering rides at the station. Just go to the taxi stand and you'll be fine there, and there'll be taxis waiting at most train stations, at least the bigger ones, so you'll be able to catch one soon enough. And one thing I want to say for you Harry Potter fans, don't forget you can actually go to platform 9 3/4.
I usually leave this out because I know a lot of people are like, oh, American, Britain, Harry Potter, but I am a big Harry Potter fan, so yes, I would be stopping here.
Well, not the real platform 9 3/4. That was movie magic. But if you go to King's Cross in London,
it's been a dream since I was a kid. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go.
There's actually a place where you get in a line, a long line, because there's a lot of people there a lot of times, and they have one of the trolleys. Like,
I think I would just be content with seeing it. Like this, it's not like this is the prop that was actually used in the movie. Like if Daniel Radcliffe actually used this cart and they just cut it in half and put it here, I'd probably wait in line. But if this is just a replica, I would just be like, oh, that's nice, that's really cool, platform 9 3/4, and then I would leave.
Like going into the wall so you can get your picture when you're there. I will tell you, give yourself like an hour to wait through that line to get to it, but it's something you can do. So hey, those are my don'ts.
This is a big thing. This is a great video. This is a big thing about me that I don't love about me. When I'm done finishing the vacation, I'm not a big picture taker, okay? I just like to enjoy stuff in the moment, but I always love it when someone with me is a big picture taker so that I can see some of the things and maybe have like try and like take some of the pictures and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge picture taker when I'm there, but I do sometimes regret that I didn't take pictures. So it's nice to have someone who's more of a picture taker. You know, does that make sense?
For traveling the train in the UK, what are some of your don'ts for traveling the train in the UK? Because this is the thing, we can help other travelers have a better time exploring the world if we help share information. So
do a
please
great job,
let us know in
Walter.
the comments below so we can help out other travelers. And I wish you a fantastic rail journey when you're here in the UK.
Great video. Love the channel. I think he gives great videos. I know a lot of people say some of the tips unnecessary or incorrect. If there's a good amount of helpful stuff, I think it's a good video, and this was definitely one of those. So, and it would be the way I would travel when I go back. So, very interesting. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below. You guys are always so great. I want to make sure every now and then at the end of videos I let you guys know I am always blown away by how helpful so many of you are in the comments. Thank you so much. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.